Okay, greetings one and all, and welcome to this math video. In this video, we'll be looking at the topic, solving inequalities and graphing its solution set. That's solving inequalities and graphing its solution set. Let's begin. Okay, the first question says, solve the inequality. We have 7 minus 5x is less than or equal to 17. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to send the 7 over onto the right-hand side. And when we said over, it was a positive 7, that becomes a negative 7. And so now we have 17 minus 7, and indeed 17 minus 7 is 10. Next, we're going to divide both sides by negative 5. And we know that indeed we could cancel out the negative 5s. And 10 divided by negative 5 is definitely going to be 10 divided by negative 5 is definitely going to be negative 2. And so the answer is x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Now, notice that we did change the sign, or we changed the direction of the sign. This is because we divided by a negative. So whenever you're doing inequalities and you divide by a negative number, then you are definitely going to change the sign. And so our sign now is greater than or equal to. So we have x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Now they say represent the solution set from part A on the number line. So here we have the number line. And since it's less than or equal to, since we have that line underneath, it's going to be a shaded circle. If it didn't have that equal to sign, if it didn't have the line underneath, then we're just going to have a regular circle without being shaded, all right? But it has the line underneath, so that means that we're going to shade in the negative 2 that because we include that number. And then we want all the numbers that are greater than negative 2. So negative 2, we include negative 2. And all the numbers that are greater than negative 2, that's going to be negative 1, 0, 2, 4, 6, 7, and so on. So we're going to draw an arrow to the right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have 8m minus 7 is greater than or equal to 5m plus 14. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to send the negative 7 over. We're going to send the 5m over. And then we're going to send the negative 7 over the equal sign. I mean, not over the equal sign, over the inequality sign. Okay, next, what we're going to do, we send the 5m over, that becomes a negative 5m. We send the negative 7m, it was a negative 7, it becomes now a positive 7. And so now we have 14 plus 7, and we have 8m minus 5m. Now 8m minus 5m is 3m, and 14 plus 7 is 21. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And so dividing both sides by 3, we cancel. And so we have m is greater than or equal to 21 divided by 3. And 21 divided by 3 is definitely going to be 7. And so we have m is greater than or equal to 7. We did not divide by a negative number in this case, so we don't have to change the direction of our sign. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to show our solution on a number line. And so we're going to have our number line represented here. And we're going to shade in 7 because we have the line underneath, which means that we include 7. And we want all the numbers that are greater than 7. So it's going to be 8, 9, 10, and so on. So we're going to draw the arrow to the right of a 7. Okay, now we move on to the next question. We have 7 minus 9x is greater than or equal to 25. What we're going to do is we're going to send the 7 over, and we are going to change the positive 7 to a negative 7. So now we have 25 minus 7, and 25 minus 7 is definitely 18. So now we have negative x is greater than or equal to 18. We divide both sides by negative 9. And so then we cancel the negative 9s. And so now we have x is greater than or equal to 18 divided by negative 9. And 18 divided by negative 9 is definitely going to be negative 2. Notice that since we divided by a negative number, we divided by negative 9, we changed the direction of the sign. So it was greater than or equal to, now it becomes less than or equal to. So our final answer is x is less than or equal to negative 2. Now, because we have the line underneath, that means we're going to include the negative 2. So we circle, we shade the circle. because we have the line underneath that sign, so we shade the circle, which means that we include -2, but we want all the numbers that are less than -2. So x is less than or equal to -2. So we want -2 and all the numbers that are less than it. So we're gonna move. So that means that we're gonna draw an arrow to the left of -2. All of these numbers are less than -2, -10, -9. They are less than -2. And so that's our answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have solve the inequality 9 plus 11x is strictly less than 42. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna send the 9 over, and that becomes -9. It was +9, so when we send it over, it becomes -9. 42 minus 9 is definitely 33. Here we're gonna divide both sides by 11, and 11 divided by 11, well, those two are gonna cancel out. And so we cancel out this 11 with that 11. And so we are left with x is strictly less than 33 divided by 11. And 33 divided by 11 is definitely 3. We do not change the sign because we divided by a +11 and not a -11. So it's still x is strictly less than 3. So x is less than 3. So that means that we do not include 3. We do not include 3. So, but we want the numbers that are less than 3. And they say write down the solution set. They do not want us to draw a number line. They just want us to write down a solution set of natural numbers. Now, natural numbers are counting numbers, so they are whole numbers that start at 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and continuing that pattern. No decimals, no fractions, right? So natural numbers do not include 0. We start from 1. And so we want natural numbers which satisfy this inequality. So what natural numbers are less than 3? Well, that will be 1 and 2 because 1 is less than 3 and 2 is less than 3. So the solution set of natural numbers that satisfy the inequality x is less than 3 is the set 1, 2. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Here we have 11 minus 6x is greater than or equal to 23. We're going to send the 11 over the equal sign. And so we have -6x is greater than or equal to 23 minus 11. Now we subtract. 23 minus 11 is definitely 12. We're going to divide both sides by -12. Notice here that we are dividing by a negative number, so we're definitely going to change the sign. We cancel out the -6's. We're going to change the sign. X is less than or equal to 12 divided by -6, and 12 divided by -6 is definitely -2. And so our answer is our answer is x is less than or equal to -2. Now, we're going to draw a number line. Now, x is less than or equal to -2. So that means that we are going to include -2 because we have the line underneath. That means that we are going to include -2. So we're going to draw a circle and shade in the -2, or shade in the circle rather, that's above -2. And but we do not only want -2, we want all of the numbers that are less than -2. And so that means we're going to go to the left-hand side of -2. These are going to be the numbers which are less than -2. And so this is how we graph our solution for A on a number line. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. We have solved the inequality 9 minus 2x is greater than 13. It's strictly greater than 13. So what we're going to do is we're going to send over the 19. It was a +19. Now it becomes a -19. And so we have a -2x is greater than 13 minus 19. Now we subtract. 13 minus 19 is definitely -6. And notice that we're going to divide both sides by -2. So we're going to divide both sides by -2. So we're going to cancel out the -2's. But we're definitely going to change the sign, right? So we have -6 divided by -2. And -6 divided by -2 is definitely +3. So -6 divided by -2 is +3 because a negative divided by a negative is definitely a positive. So now we have x is strictly less than 3, but here they want us to write down the solution set in the set of natural numbers. They do not want us to draw a number line. They just want us to write a solution set for our solution to our inequality. And so what natural numbers are less than, so which natural numbers are less than 3? The answer is 1 and 2. 1 is less than 3, 2 is less than 3. And we know that natural numbers are counting numbers. They are definitely whole numbers that start at 1 and continue on from there all the way to infinity. We do not include 0 in natural numbers. Okay, let's move on to the next question. This one says, solve the inequality. 8 plus 7x is strictly less than 29. Write down the solution set of natural numbers that satisfy the inequality in A. Okay, so what we have here is x is 8 plus 7x is less than 29. What we're going to do is we're going to send over the 8. Now we have 29 minus 8. And so we have 7x is less than 29 minus 8. We are going to subtract 29 minus 8 is definitely 21. We divide both sides by 7. And this is a positive 7, so we do not have to change the sign. We cancel, so we have x is less than 21 divided by 7, and 21 divided by 7 is definitely 3. Now they say write down the solution set of natural numbers that satisfy the inequality in A. So we want what natural numbers are less than 3. And the natural numbers that are less than 3 are going to be 1 and 2. So the solution set of natural numbers that satisfy the inequality x is less than 3 is 1 and 2. The set that contains 1 and 2. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We have 7 minus 3x is greater than or equal to 13. What we're going to do is we're going to send the 7 over the, we're going to send a 7 over. It was a positive 7. Now it becomes a negative 7. Now we subtract. 13 minus 7 is definitely 6. And so we have negative 3x is greater than or equal to 6. We divide both sides by negative 3. And then we cancel. So we have x is greater than or equal to, I'm sorry, not x is greater than or equal to, but x is less than or equal to 6 divided by negative 3. The reason why it's less than or equal to, because notice that we are dividing by a negative 3. And whenever you're dividing by a negative number with inequalities, you're going to change the sign, or change the direction of the sign, I should say. And so x is less than or equal to 6 divided by negative 3. And so that's going to be negative 2, because 6 divided by negative 3 is definitely negative 2. So we have x is less than or equal to negative 2. Now we're going to graph our solution for A. We're going to graph that. We're going to graph our solution for A on a directed number line. And so what we have is our number line here. And what we have to do is we have to find negative 2. So we put a circle there, a shaded circle, because we have the line underneath. So we include negative 2 and we say less than. So it's going to be x is less than or equal to negative 2. So if it's less than, so we're going to look at the numbers that are less than negative 2. Not greater than negative 2, but less than negative 2. So we're going to go to the left-hand side. These numbers, negative 10, negative 9, negative 6, they are less than negative 2. And so this is how we graph our solution on a directed number line. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. And thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.